There we are. Do believe we are live. Welcome back, everybody. It is Wednesday, and we're going to mix it up. We're going to do a Q&A Wednesday. So I hope you guys brought your questions. It can be related to trading, investing, really anything. You can ask for charts, but that's not the point of it. We're gonna just see if we can grab some of these new investors, new people, and get the questions that they are looking for. And if we can offer a solid answer, I'll consider that a success regardless of what happens today. So let's go into it. I do want to really quick shout out to our next upcoming video. If you haven't checked out the playlist, our free educational trading course, recommend you do that after the live show. We have a new video looking to be published right at the start of April. High quality, in-depth, and best of all, it is free, baby. So check it out after the live. Boom. Easy. Where to start? Let's start here. We're going to do a really brief kind of overview of what's happening in the market today. There's two big pieces of news that we're going to just glance over, kind of interpret, and then I've got one or two kind of spicy charts, but I don't think it'll take more than 15 minutes, maybe less, and then we're going to jump right into that Q&A. We're not going to do infinite charts today. As much as you guys love it, we're not going to do that. But what you can do, make sure you smash that subscribe and like button. Jump into the Discord. If you sign up with any of our partners in the video description below, you will get VIP exclusive access to our trading rooms. Cost you nothing, so jump in there. Let's just take a look at what's going on in the bigger, broader market of crypto. Top 10 cap. We've got Bitcoin up about 7% for the week, but no surprise to anyone, we've seen a little bit of red, and people are suspecting that is off the recent news, which we will jump into as well. Ethereum, about the same position, down a little bit less today. BNB taking the spot for the number one biggest gain over the week at 10%, hovering just under $600, just under its previous all-time high. BNB is not something that I love, but I do think from a chart perspective, it is a sleeper. It's crept back to its all-time high and relatively no hype. If you were here in 21, you never stopped hearing about BNB coin as it rallied. And it's interesting. It just catches my eye that nobody's talking about it. Solana, down actually more than its higher market cap friends. Only up 6.5% for the week at 182 right now. XRP remaining sideways at 61 cents. It'll break out someday. Dogecoin returning with a 43% gain on the week, making it the biggest gainer in the top 10 market cap cryptos. Reaching back to that 20-cent mark. It did see a harsh rejection from there, and I'm still looking for 25-ish cents and above for confirmation to see that move back to its all-time high. Cardano down at 63, hovering with the XRP crowd. Really similar gain loss. Avalanche did hit about 60 and retreated over this week down to the 50-ish zone, but I'm still feeling pretty good on that chart. Shiba Inu, 17% for the week and sideways on this greater market sell-off. Kind of spicy. Toncoin creeping its way up here. I don't think I actually own any Toncoin, but creeping its way up into the top 10. Interesting. I do know that that's something to do with Telegram in that they are IPOing soon, and actually IPOs is a topic that we're going to talk about in just a second. What's up, CryoGen? I see you subscribing. Lowmip.com, Manny, Kanda, Prabhu. Keep subscribing, guys. Keep it going. Good vibes. All right. That's all I want to do in the top. Actually, let's just see. Is anything really up today? MNT up 41%. That might be a chart we look at during the live. SUI 16%. That's a pretty big gain as well. BCH, Bitcoin Cash. I did tweet about this heading to 750, I think late last week, and it did break its weekly resistance, and I think it has further upside ahead of it. AGIX hovering around $1.32. FET or Fetch AI at 314. Someone was talking about some kind of coin merger in the chat before the live. Maybe we'll try to jump into that. Not a topic I'm an expert on. Litecoin, my baby. Off of something that happened yesterday, Litecoin did have a nice little rally. Didn't quite break 100. Of course, you know I'm looking for further upside. But anyway, anything on big losers? Not really. Flare down. That had a great run this year. Caspa right where it was. Floki right around where it was. All right. Nothing big there. So the big pieces of news, we're not going to spend a lot of time, but I do want to touch them so that if you hear about them or people talking about them, you have a calmer, more rational look at what's going on. So, crypto exchange KuCoin violated anti-money laundering laws and now faces U.S. charges. We have many exchange partners on this channel and over the past, but KuCoin has never been one of them. Thankfully, actually, at this point, neither was FTX. We do our research before we jump in. But KuCoin has been kind of on my radar for, I want to say, a year or two, with rumors of insolvency. And honestly, this isn't a big deal for crypto. This crackdown is only going to continue. We have seen this over the last year or two. It really started with Bybit when they changed to KYC and Binance charges as well. But this is going to keep going. This isn't going to stop here with KuCoin. And honestly, I'm surprised it took this long. If you have assets on KuCoin, I have recommended this before. In my opinion, you should look to withdraw them to your own wallet. I don't think there's any immediate danger of like losing everything, but better safe than sorry. Remember, not your keys, not your coins, baby. Don't get caught with your pants down. Don't get caught. Can't use KuCoin in the US anymore. They require KYC, so why would someone in the US even care? Well, people have accounts from pre-KYC days on KuCoin. Good question. See, Q&A is already spicing it up. What does this article say? KuCoin and two of its founders were charged with violating AML laws by U.S. federal prosecutors. Remember, guys, they don't really go after things unless they have a case built. So I don't know what their case is. It may be related to the rumors or not. I don't know. Homeland Security Investigations Special Agent Darren McCormick, not really that cool of a special agent name, called KuCoin an alleged multi-billion-dollar criminal conspiracy. Quite harsh words from Special Agent Darren McCormick. KuCoin's native token, KCS, dropped by 5%. That's barely anything for something like this. Wow, thanks for all the ads. You know what? CoinDesk.com, too many ads. You've lost our read. So my take on that, it's going to keep happening. It's not the end of the world. It really shouldn't be something that's super scary. This isn't the first time or last time we will see this, but if you have a KuCoin account, and especially if you have assets there, consider withdrawing them to your own wallet, please. And even if it isn't on a KuCoin, consider withdrawing all your assets to your own wallet. Bitcoin reacts to the SEC versus Coinbase ruling with price drop. Another funny, scary news article about, what is it? Was it their earn program? Let's see. Bitcoin plunges like 2%. In ruling of SEC case against Coinbase sparks market turmoil. These news articles are always written to scare you or FOMO you. They always have an agenda. That's a really core thing. Response to recent court decision denying Coinbase's motion to dismiss a lawsuit filed by the Securities and Exchange Commission. We don't care. Bitcoin dropped 4%. It does that all day, every day. Let me see. Paul Gruel. The court decided the SEC will move forward on most of the claims, but dismiss the claims against Coinbase Wallet. Interesting. Coinbase Wallet is put out by Coinbase, but it is not the exchange. Important distinguishing there. We were prepared for this, and we look forward to uncovering more about the SEC's internal views. You know, there isn't going to be a lot of details on this article for this, but basically, think of it this way: the SEC just allowed spot ETFs for Bitcoin. Coinbase is the custodian for almost all of them. Something tells me that the SEC's charges are going to fall flat on anything against Coinbase in the future. I don't think this is a big motivator. I don't even think it's really related to price change that we saw over the last 24 hours. That's really in the band of normal volatility for Bitcoin. We'll definitely follow this going forward, but something tells me this isn't really anything to worry about. So those two big news pieces, I use air quotes because, sorry, I don't know. It is new and it is information, but is it really important news? I don't think so personally. All right, that was it. Something interesting, not quite crypto, but I wanted to share this with you guys. DJT. Donald Trump's company officially IPO'd, I believe yesterday it began trading. I think this was DMCA as a ticker, and on IPO now it's DJT. An interesting thing. I'm probably going to follow this chart because I'm curious. In general, and not related to this specific IPO, you guys have heard me talk and say that IPOs, I don't really understand them. I'm a crypto guy. I'm origin from crypto. I did not start in stocks, but over the years, I've watched many companies IPO and I just don't get it. IPOs almost always end up cratering, honestly, after like the first day of trading. So my logical thought process goes to they're a liquidity grab from investors that bought pre-IPO. They get their money out. So what is the point? It's like just exit liquidity on people jumping in after IPOs. I don't get it. I don't understand why people would invest in IPOs. I do understand why people might invest in this if they're big Donald Trump fans. Makes sense. However, keep that in mind. Unrelated to this, most of these go very badly. And from my really shallow, quick research on this, there is not a lot of liquidity. There is very little liquidity to this. I think the market cap was like 3 billion, but almost every article that I looked at said the amount of liquidity or the amount of money that's actually able to be extracted from this is incredibly thin. So do your own research, make your own choices. I just thought it was an interesting thing to cover. We'll probably throw up the chart at some point on it. Currently trading at 67.80. It looks like, where did it start trading on this IPO? Like 70. That's actually not the worst IPO I've seen. I remember like Coinbase IPO. I don't know. Everything I've literally ever seen and covered on the stream has ended up just being a dump. So I have just two quick kind of graphs here. I didn't make these obviously, but these will really smoothly transition us. The Fed owes 157 billion to the US Treasury. And this is the graph of what they've owed over the last, it looks like, decade and change. They had a little bit of a positive, or meaning a little bit of a profit, up until it looks like 2022, probably in November when all markets bottomed. And since then, the Fed is really racking up this bill. Quantitative tightening means less profit and higher rates on RRP, IORB, and etc. Man, what's going on here? What's happening? Why is the Fed almost so much money? Let's look at something also related. US M2 doubling periods. I thought this was really cool. So we talk about inflation a lot, and this is really going to line us up for the next thing. We talk about inflation a lot. So what is inflation? We can come up with all different ways to measure this. The Fed has a way, CPI, CP, whatever the different acronyms are, and they're all just BS. Like, you guys know this. You experience inflation in real time when you buy things, and you don't really need to be told by some kind of objective made up metric that it's a certain percent, right? How much does the Taco Bell beefy 5-layer burrito cost now? Well, it costs 5 times as much as it did just, 10 years ago, 14 years ago? That's a pretty good measure in my opinion. That was one of the best segments we've ever done. Anyway, what we can see here is the doubling period for M2 supply. It used to be, I would say, the average over 10 years. And in the last 8.2 years, we have seen almost a doubling again. This is, in my opinion, the measurement for inflation. How much liquid dollars are there out there? When that doubles, inflation is what, 100%? So according to this, it looks like inflation almost every 10 years doubles. I think that is more in alignment with whatever number that they can produce. So those were kind of my intros to something I wanted to do. I wanted to do a why Bitcoin segment, but I don't want to make this segment too long. We did start 5 minutes late, so I guess I have time. So you guys know I am not a Bitcoin maximalist, but I am in many ways a Bitcoin maximalist, meaning I am not toxic. I don't care if you invest in other things. I'm not going to call you stupid. I'm not going to harass you. But at the end of the day, my goal in crypto is to stack Bitcoin. I don't value my portfolio in dollars. I value it in how much Bitcoin I have. And if that trend is moving up, I don't care about the dollar value, because at some point, Bitcoin will reach a new all-time high, as it just did this month. And I believe that will continue out for the rest of my days and probably the rest of your days as well. And so by just stacking it and waiting, I can position myself for these big moves to be set up very nicely. Now, on this, I found a really great article and I wanted to share it with you guys. And basically it's it seems like everyone's forgotten why Bitcoin matters. And I agree. Talking from my position here, having thousands, 100,000 of you in the community, hearing your opinions and your voices over the last few years, it really does seem like people have forgotten why Bitcoin matters. So I do want to read this to you, and then we're going to get into the Q&A. So get your questions ready. If you've asked questions already, I'm sorry I haven't been able to read the chat while doing this, but I will get to them. Also, guys, keep smashing those subscribes. We see new subscribers jumping in. I love it. Keep it up. Hit the likes, all that goodies. So let's do this. Taking it over to the big screen, even though I'm not going to give you a visual aid. Anyway, Bitcoin was created in 2008 in response to the 2008 financial crisis as a way of opting out of a failing banking fiat system. But people seem to forget about this or have forgotten about this as to why Bitcoin is important. What makes it different? A lot of new cryptocurrencies come out every single day, but they don't have the same aspects. They don't have the same elements. And it's okay if you're not in the space for this reason. But if you've never heard this, I think it's really important to your investing future, your timeline going forward. So everywhere on social media, all I see is people talking about when to buy and when to sell in order to make more fiat. The true Bitcoin OGs out there really never thought this way. They wanted Bitcoin as a way to protect their wealth from a failing financial system. In 2008, the thing that caused this financial crisis was interest rates being raised from 1% to 5%. For reference, interest rates are now at 5.33%, almost exactly where we were in 2008. The rising of rates, of interest rates, that have always caused something to break. And this time, yep, we've raised them back to where that was. Interest rates rising, we saw this in 2022, led to banks collapsing, becoming insolvent, etc., just as it did in 2008. Something is going to break because of these, and the Fed has now delayed interest rate cuts. They were forecasting more, they're pushing them back. They're waiting for something to break. Inevitably, there will be a black swan financial event, like in 2020 or in 2008, and it will sweep around the world. We don't know what's going to trigger it or when it's going to start, and we can speculate, but the only thing we know for sure is that we will see this in the future. This isn't meant to scare you. This is meant to give you a rational and a logical place to start growing some thought around this system, around this cryptocurrency world, right? When this happens, banks around the world will fail, as we've seen them in the past, and we've seen recently even. Bail-ins will begin, where a percentage of your bank account balance will be taken from you in order to try to save your your failing bank. And central banks will flood more money into the system than they've ever done before, causing inflation to skyrocket, as we have seen already happen. The assets that will protect you from inflation, protect you from those bail-ins from the big banks, and allow you to transact outside of a failing banking system is Bitcoin. The entire world could run on Bitcoin in the future. And at the same time, if that happens, governments may potentially look to confiscate Bitcoin the way that they have in the past with gold in order to protect their failing system. Interest rates have been raised and the fiat system is cracking at the seams. It's just a matter of time before this happens. I thought that I actually had more. I read that earlier. Maybe I didn't process the whole thing. But basically, this is it. In the Genesis block of Bitcoin, Satoshi wrote, January 1st, 2008, or 2009, bank chancellor on the brink of second bailouts. This is it. A lot of people get caught up in transactions per second or smart contracts or bridges and mergers and DeFi and DePIN and AI and memes and whatever. And guys, you want to invest in that, go for it. I'm here for it. Like I said, I'm not going to criticize you. I'm not going to call you stupid. I'm happy that you found this space. But there's more to this space than Moon. And most of the people I've seen over the years that actually got rich in this space had this mindset. They had this kind of belief, this ideology that goes beyond just the numbers on the charts. All right, I'm done. I'm done, guys. I'm done. I haven't talked about that stuff in a while. I want to get it out. So let's see. Let's see who's here. Let's see who in the chat today. Let me pull these up. Sorry if I missed any super chats or anything. Just the way it goes. But let me get all of the chats from all of the platforms up. Here we go. Got it. We here? That's right, brother. Pulling these up. New to the channel. What's up, Zachary? What up, gang? You're over on the mobile stream. By the way, if you are viewing a very thin stream, you're on the mobile stream. We have a full screen PC, whatever, tablet version. You're welcome to jump over and join the crowd over here. We got hundreds watching. All right. You have to have wealth to be a Bitcoin maxi? Not true, bro. I started broke AF like 8 years ago. I was not wealthy. So let's see who's here. Mac Prime Rib, what's up? Actually, Mac Prime Rib, funny. That just reminded me. There is some like conspiracy-ish theory around, what is it, markets rallying and the McRib? Because they bring the McRib back like every 4 years or something. Does anybody have more details on that? It's actually pretty funny. What's up, Derek? How you doing, bro? What you doing? Bajorn is here. Horse guy. What's up, Badger Pickle? Kai, the beautiful Kai is here. Oh no, Y2K just stopped on your lunch break. Welcome, brother. We're just warming up. We're just cracking open the Q&A. So I hope you guys brought some questions. I know you ask and you say them in chat and I don't read them because I'm doing charts and that's what I'm trying to do here. If this goes well, maybe we'll do it every Wednesday. But if it doesn't, maybe this will just be a one-off. So get them in while you can. What's up, Barksell? Can you tell us the best way to trade alt Bitcoin? To stack Bitcoin? Well, first you have to find the altcoin Bitcoin pairs. I would recommend Ethereum, big liquidity, big market cap. You have to find those pairs first on exchange, and they are getting a lot rarer. When I started in crypto, there was honestly like 3 USD pairs. Coinbase had Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum. Every other thing that you wanted, any other project, anything, you had to trade Bitcoin pairs for them, meaning you couldn't buy them with dollars. This was pre-stable coins. I know, isn't it weird to think that there was a time before stable coins? There was. So we had to trade them. And that is how I learned to trade. It's a good question. It's how I learned to trade. And it is very productive if you have the kind of maxi-ish or Bitcoin stacking mindset. I have gone on about it in depth before, but it is really just the same concepts. It's the same as buying low, selling high. The only difference is when you profit, you're profiting in Bitcoin, which is a weird concept for a lot of new traders and people to even think about. What do you mean profiting in Bitcoin? To make it really easy, say you have 1 Bitcoin and you buy XYZ coin. If XYZ coin goes up 20% against Bitcoin and now you sell that, you now have 1.2 Bitcoin. Have you made profit in dollars? Probably, but it's not guaranteed because the dollar value isn't part of that calculation. There is a possible scenario where you have a lower USD value, though that is usually very uncommon and maybe only if you were to make that trade right before a giant crash or something. But it's the same concepts. What I like about them is the charts and the trading do seem to be, I don't want to say less manipulated, but I don't have a better word. TA seems to work better on those charts. And in fact, as stablecoins came out when I started and I observed kind of these stablecoin markets, I remember saying, I don't know why anybody would trade BTC USD. BTC USD is 100 times harder than say like Bitcoin ETH, Bitcoin Litecoin, Bitcoin, whatever it is you're trading. They seem to respect charts and patterns and like analysis a lot closer than the USD pairs. There it is. Can we look into Litecoin? Mark and Tony, of course. We can always look into Litecoin. What's up, antithesis? Relative wealth. Relative wealth. You had to have a few thousand to spare to invest. Otherwise, you were trading to accumulate wealth. Well, I wasn't trading. There you go, man. Can't answer. Gotta get more people's questions, but I wasn't really trading. I was very much investing. I started with like $1,000. And then I just continued to DCA for, I don't know, 3-4 years, something like that. I basically DCA'd. We saw the 2017 bull market top. Price went down. Then, because I DCA'd on the way up, I was underwater. And so I just kept DCAing Bitcoin, whatever I could afford week over week. And eventually it was like in 2019, I think, price then moved above my cost average. And that's when I stopped DCAing. After that, I made it to go back down. Ended up buying some. But long story short, it was not overnight. If you want to say, this is what I think you're getting at, correct me if I'm wrong, is can you get rich overnight buying Bitcoin? And the answer is probably no, dude. Probably no. But that isn't unique to Bitcoin. Can you get rich overnight buying anything? The answer is not really. Lottery tickets. Anything that can make you rich overnight has the statistical probability of lottery tickets. So I don't want to say it's impossible, but 99.9999999% of people who set out to get rich overnight end up donating their money to the market. That is my observation. Anyone's welcome to argue, but that is what I've seen time and time again over these years. 5 years on YouTube, years of mentoring, talking to people one-on-one. I wish I could tell you get rich overnight. You can try, but man, it's a rough take. What kind of strategy am I using? I don't think my strategy can really be defined in like one sentence. I use a lot of different tools, I use a lot of different times. Changing up tools, indicators, things based on market conditions, etc. The one thing that I've learned as well in trading is nothing works indefinitely. Trading is dynamic. Markets are dynamic. Trends are dynamic. And so to try to just do one strategy or one thing indefinitely will likely work for some amount of time. But until it doesn't. Until it doesn't, and you give back all those gains. Yeah. A little super chat over here from SpaceApe. Tell me the relationship. Wow, geez. Please, SpaceApe. Kill you? A little politeness. Messing with you, man. Tell me the relationship between Litecoin and LTCN. Does the LTCN hold the Litecoin? Is that the Litecoin like Lightning Network thing, LTCN, or is that the ticker for GBTC's Litecoin? Let me just Google it quick. GreyScale Litecoin Trust. Okay, yeah. So it's the same relationship between GBTC and BTC. It is the trust's offering that they created pre-ETF. So this was like a pseudo ETF thing. And it is interesting, people aren't really talking about this. We talk about GBTC all the time, but they do have a lot of other tickers, a lot of other assets that are just the same setup, right? It was just like a way to put money in. You can still do that. But do they hold the Litecoin? To my knowledge, yes. To my knowledge, GreyScale holds both the GBTC for Bitcoin, the LTCN for Litecoin, and all the other ones. They have like tons of different trusts there. To my knowledge, they hold that spot, yes. And that is the outflows that we're seeing from GBTC now, while the other ETFs gobble it up. But the relationship is speculative, right? There are different dynamics in GBTC. You can't just redeem them the same way you can, I don't know, like spot on exchange on other places. So their price tends to depeg. We call that premium and discount. But to my knowledge, yeah, man. I don't know if there's anything else you're looking there. Easter is coming, says 11-7 Productions, and Jesus Coin is rising, he says. Thank you for the super chat, my friend. I hope it does rise. I hope it continues to rise just for you. You and 𝐒𝐿𝐼 Khalifa, whatever it is. Let me see. Just tuned in now. What's the price prediction, Josh? Not doing as much price prediction today. Doing more chilling, answering questions. I can do some Bitcoin TA then, but if I start doing Bitcoin TA, then I'm just gonna keep doing charts. I'm not gonna be able to like connect with you guys. I want to know, especially from new people. I want to hear a whole spectrum of questions, from like really basic to things I don't have an answer for. That'd be great. Try to rob a bank and donate your life to prison. Zachary Savage, dude. But that's true. Let me see here. We got a lot of viewers. Not as much as our normal stream, so I don't know if our viewers are loving this, but that's okay. I do see Bangarang, Rufio, Brendan, Fuza, Harpreet Singh, JK, Official Investor, Joshua David, KNT Jason, Making Millions, Mika Hall, NL Golfy, RJ Sawo Odiz, Tiz Golf, Vishwana, Zachary Martin, Antithesis, Odyssey One, B Baker, Bajorn, Crypto Fart, Crypto Sharknado, Crypto Fart, Daniel Lehman, Dili Crypto 711 Productions, Fafa Fofi, Fahid Hassan, French Toaster, Hendrik, Harim, 𝐒𝐳 TV, J-Day Kai, 𝐂𝐫𝐆𝐍, Josh Bryan, there he is. I was waiting for you, bro. Kong, Lazarus Hand, ID, Line in My Pocket, Magic Man, Matthew Smeed, Magi, 𝐂𝐵𝐵𝐻, Space Ape, Pickle, Venom Hex. Got a lot of names. What do I think the next big thing for crypto is on the horizon that no one's talking about? The halving. People aren't talking about the halving enough. The halving, I think, is without a doubt the next big catalyst that the crypto space has. I should have started the stream with the halving countdown. Still estimated for April 20. If it's on 420, all your dreams come true, remember. You still love the stream, Josh? Thank you, man. Am I predicting an altcoin season soon? You know, that question can only ever be answered by Bitcoin dominance. And looking at Bitcoin dominance, we don't really have a good indicator. Dominance is high, but not high relative to the previous pre-bull run price action. It's currently at like 53%. It was as high as 74 last cycle back in 2021. So as unsatisfying of an answer as this is, we don't really get a good read on dominance. We may next week. We haven't really escaped this trend of like 8 years. But if you just want my opinion, I'm so used to like leaning back into the charts and not giving my opinion. My opinion is yes. Soon is the important question there. When is soon, right? I expect an altcoin season in this cycle, right? I mean, obviously, but I expect it in this run. But soon, like tomorrow, next week, next month, probably not. What we see in the previous cycles is Bitcoin making moves up. Once it starts trading sideways, so here's maybe the biggest, right in front of us right now, the biggest argument for altcoin season soon would be when Bitcoin trades sideways. That's when we tend to see alts regain strength in their Bitcoin pair, which is a direct result then of Bitcoin dominance dropping. We haven't really seen it drop yet. It's kind of just sitting at a weekly support. It was resistance just a few weeks ago, and now it seems to be holding there. I need to see a breakout on dominance to feel as if that is like imminent. It won't take a lot though. You're right on top of last week or these weeks, let's say. Monthly resistance, even spicier. You're right on top of this monthly resistance. Closing strong in March could be a signal that dominance wants to rally, and then we likely see the opposite of alt season. But it's right here hanging on. Like, even if March in the next, I don't know, week, what is it? Shows even a little more weakness, and we see dominance drop, maybe down to the 51 range, that's going to be a good signal that alts are going to get spicier. But according to this, we don't really have a clear edge. We are trading sideways right now. If this is prolonged, if we see this continue out, maybe throughout March into the halving, if Bitcoin doesn't escape this 73.1 to like 60K range, I expect to see dominance drop. That would be in alignment with what we've seen in the past, pretty predictably. What's up? Hi from Portugal. You're long 1,000, AI 50. I don't know what that is, but wish you the best. Tom, in USD including leverage, how large is your typical trade? How large? The best way to answer this is in trading, no matter what you're trading, no matter how much capital you have, the smartest thing you can do is obey the 1% rule. No trade should risk more than 1% of your total capital. If you have $100, unfortunately, that's $1. If you have $1 million, then it's what, like 10K, something like that. You should never risk more than 1%. And I would argue you should risk less than 1%. Trading is a marathon. Trading cannot be summarized by one trade or two trades. That is a big trap for new traders. They jump in and, I mean, new traders' luck is definitely a thing. I used to think exchanges let you win your first trade because it just seemed so commonly people would sign up, they'd make a trade, they'd be in profit, and they think, I'm the best trader alive. This is amazing. Just to get humbled. 1%. So what that means is if your stop loss hits, or in the worst case, you get liquidated or something, it should never be more than 1% of your capital. And that is a mathematical truth. You can argue whatever you want with me, but that's a mathematical truth. Like I said, trading cannot be expressed in 1 to 10 trades. Trading and your success in trading can only be viewed over 1,000 or 10,000 trades. It is a giant numbers game. Giant numbers game. In that, let's say 10,000 sample size of trades you take once you're there, you're going to have giant losing streaks and you have giant winning streaks. Like mathematically, you're going to have a 10 trade losing streak and you're going to have a 10 trade winning streak in that 10,000 sample. It's like mathematically guaranteed. If you're risking more than 1% loss per trade, you will not survive that. Math will just take you out. You will lose. You will. I lose. Everyone loses. The only people who never lose are lying or just haven't traded enough. So that is the best way to answer that, I think, my friend. Spot trade, y'all stay clear of futures. Scottish crypto, that's how I started my trading. Luckily leverage just like didn't exist, but if I had started with leverage like most people do now, I probably would have lost all my capital. Probably. Am I thinking super cycle or just another cycle, Willie T? I'm thinking super cycle. Honestly, there's like, what can we say as evidence to argue for or against that? The answer is very little. The answer is we don't have a lot to argue for or against that. But here's like all I could cite. One, we've broken the all-time high pre-halving. It's never happened before. Never seen that happen. So something about this cycle is different. 5 years from now, 10 years from now, looking back, it may end up looking pretty similar to everything else. But we have something that's just definitively, you can't argue against it. It's different. It's never happened. On top of that, one of our favorite metrics that we look at here every Monday, Bitcoin supply on exchange. Bitcoin supply on exchange has never seen anything like this either. The amount of Bitcoin that is available to be sold on and across exchanges has been trending down. I'm trying to pull it up now. Since like the last bull market high in like 2021. It might even been before that. Let me see. Exchange. Supply held by exchange. Here we go. I'm going to pull up Benjamin Cohen's Into the Cryptoverse. This is actually a really good site. Man makes a great site here. So let's see. I don't know how well you can see this, but actually that checks out pretty good. Bitcoin supply on exchanges basically since the beginning. Because remember, at one point there was no Bitcoin on supply or on exchange because there weren't exchanges. And then one day there were. So that number went from 0 to non-zero. It continued to expand and pretty predictably like has had expansion and contraction times. Like into bear markets, that supply has dwindled, and into bull market peaks, we have seen that expand. It makes sense. People looking to take profit, they move their coins to exchange because guess what? You can't take profit unless you can sell it on exchange, right? That had continued to climb. Actually, this is pretty spicy. I don't know if I even noticed this. Continued to climb to right here. March 2020, the great crash, the last black swan event. That was the peak? I'm actually learning this in real time. I somehow never caught that. The crash 2020 was the peak of Bitcoin on exchange. That also makes sense. People were panicked. All markets dumped. Oil went negative. People were looking for liquidity. And guess what's always liquid? Bitcoin. Bitcoin's always liquid. I would argue it's the most liquid asset on earth. You can trade it 24/7, 365. It has liquidity enough for almost any size orders. I think it's the most liquid asset on earth. Really, the argument is other assets don't trade all the time, and that's part of liquidity. Anyway, on the way up, we did see that actually kind of bump down to the new all-time, breaking 20K. And then as we entered to the new all-time highs, we saw a high unbalance in exchanges. However, this deviates from what we've seen in the past. Price has moved back up. Price has broken an all-time high. And it continues to trend down. Now that can change. You saw there were periods of expansion and contraction before. Likely that will happen again. But this trend is something that should not be ignored. It is also an argument that this cycle might show us something different. And my last piece here, I didn't want to spend this long. I'm long-winded sometimes.
Has become so diluted.
It's
so
this.
Nice to hear it stripped back to what's important.
I heard a super chat. My last piece of argument or evidence is this, and I'll move on then to the next question. Our last cycle highs from 20K to 69K. This doesn't fit anything. We can say diminishing returns, but that's just a lazy argument. It's not incorrect, but it's just lazy. We have a sample size of like 4. I don't think that it's like should be taken as gospel, right? What did we have here? Well, unbeknownst to us at the time, we had FTX selling Bitcoin. Intentionally, they have this on record, trying to keep the price down. People bought Bitcoin on FTX, and FTX didn't buy that Bitcoin. They didn't actually acquire it. Instead, they shorted, sold the asset, etc. Bought their coin, sold. This 250%, it does sit kind of roughly. Virtually no one thought that Bitcoin was going to top out at 69,000. At least no one who didn't say it was going to top out every single high probably all the way from 12K all the way up to 69. But we had a really serious selling pressure that was manipulation, but whatever, from FTX. That may have been the reason that we didn't get the high giggity that we deserved, that we expected. We had that giant capitulation in 2022 with the cascading liquidations of Three Arrows Capital, FTX, whatever, Celsius, BlockFi, etc. We saw a selling or suppressing force throughout the last cycle that was alleviated here. It was alleviated at the bottom with what I called at the time the largest capitulation event in crypto ever. I believe that pressure kept us from moving to a bigger high. But like I say often on this channel, you got to pay the piper. I don't think that damages Bitcoin. I don't think that it will maybe kind of take away from the next high. I think the opposite. I think that we are going to see diminishing return model destroyed this cycle. I don't have a number. I'll tell you 300K. I'll just say a number, right? Nobody knows. The same way no one knew this would be the high. No one really knew this would be the low. Same with back here. These highs and lows, we don't know. I think that we see something extra special. And those are basically the 3 pieces of argument that I can bring to that. There it is. I see Hillary Samuel is over on Facebook liking the stream. What's up, Hillary? Lucky717 subscribed. Stephen Hewitt liking over on Facebook. John Gagnon subscribed. F. Sosa. Lownut Christian Vidaire. El Sanabro. Forex Trading Myanmar. Chaos Theor X. Ella King. Sanjeev. Simon. Jason Root. Gottfried M. Bayer. We got more likes on this Facebook stream probably than any other one. Hell yeah, fam. Keep it up. Keep subscribing. All right, jump back to the chat. Let's see if I can grab another question. I'm so bad at multitasking. 71% of you say you like the thumbnail today. Different style. Nice. Not a lot of votes, but I'm going to end that poll. Theory, thank you. Theory. All right, I see you, Chaos. RSR, please. What's up, Flip? Philip. Find your question. What was your question? I'm looking at the chat now. I'm not going to go find it. The well-known HODL rule is to have around 50% of your crypto portfolio in Bitcoin. I would argue more. Mine's like 75. But whatever risk tolerance you're okay with, that's the answer. What should your ETH be? Again, that's up to you. I think I'm not a huge fan of Ethereum, but Ethereum is number 2 market cap, so it does make sense to not only include in your portfolio, but to have some kind of proportional representation. 25% is right for you, it's right for you. There is no perfect answer to this. People who say there is are full of it. Hey, why you like stream? I don't know. Do you not like stream? When do you think Bitcoin will leg up in terms of micro moves? A leg up would be like more of a macro move. I think we get a pre-halving high break of 70, 73. What's up, Oreo? That's a good symmetrical triangle you didn't notice? Yeah, it's pretty symmetrical. It is, it's a good one. I mean, you could argue this is a flag. I don't like flags though. The only problem with this triangle is, yeah, like what, 63.6 to like 69.5, and you're still in it. Actually, when does it apex? Ooh, 16th of April, 4 days before the halving at this pace. I don't really have any analysis here. This lower high is ugly, but it could easily, you know what? This can be a question. Should we do the Bitcoin TAs? What about XRP? How do I feel about it? XRP, never been one of my favorite coins either, but I'm picky in what I like. XRP reminds me of Litecoin in the chart. It's not like multi-year flag. I think they're both going to have an epic explosion to the upside, break their all-time highs, or they both dump. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's like the biggest flag ever in crypto. Tom's portfolio is 75% Bitcoin, 25% Litecoin. It's not true. My portfolio is like 70, 80% Bitcoin, and Litecoin's maybe like 4%, something like that. Actually, Ethereum is larger than Litecoin in my portfolio. Not by choice, just by how the market went. You think ETH will be overtaken by number 2 this cycle? It has in the past. Ethereum, XRP was number 2 for a while, right? That was a while ago, though. I wouldn't doubt it. The only thing I don't think is going to happen is the flippening. Seem like an old head crypto guy? Thank you. I am. We've been live on YouTube for 5 years. I mean, I don't know. It's weird to say old head in crypto because I remember like it was yesterday when I started. But that feels like it was, I don't know, like a lifetime ago. Appreciate you. I guess so. We've been live streaming on YouTube, crypto, Bitcoin trading, analysis for 5 years. I've been in crypto longer than that, obviously, but appreciate it, man. That's a huge compliment in my book. What's up, Gold Dragon? Smash the like button, says, does it matter to you? Please do. It was 25%. It was never 25%. Litecoin was never 25% of my portfolio. I guess in hindsight, thank God. Litecoin is definitely the number 2 coin that I have put money into, like quantity. Definitely. You're behind on the stream, Cryptogenic. You've already traded, whoa. But you've already traded more than Warren Buffett in his entire life. Think about that. Have I? I have no idea how many times Warren Buffett has traded, but if it's not a huge amount, yeah, probably. I have traded thousands of trades. Thousands. And likely thousands more. I've been calming it down, though. I have a graph of like total trades per year. It's not all of them, but it's like close. And that has trended down. I trade less and less the more experience I get. Have any thoughts about KuCoin? What thoughts could anyone have about a KuCoin? Like it's just a token. It's a cat. What thoughts could there be? I could see that's happening. I could see that happening. It's in the value area low down there. RSI could reset on higher time frames. Yeah. I mean, a move down looks pretty decent. You know what? Let me do this because I prepared some TA, very simple TA to share today. Monthly open 61.1, 61.2. It's on our chart. Obviously, with 4 days, we want to close above that. It's looking pretty good. On the weekly chart, I should have like hidden some of this. Oh well. Weekly chart can be summarized really simply. That wick low last week could be the low. Could be the low. We have traded above last week and the week before, above their close, to 61.7. All we need in the next 4 days for this weekly close is a close above 69,000. Any number above 69. We get a bullish engulfing on the week, and then more importantly, we start to see potentially a really cool pattern start. Looking at just these weeks since late January. Green expansion candles. 1 week of a little shooting star, a little bearish doji, thin red body, top and bottom wick. Then we got expansion again. 2 weeks of expansion again. 1, 2, 1, 2. Then we have now 2 weeks of what, if you were to combine these, look exactly like this candle. So 1 red, 2 red. Strong close this week could set us up for what? A continuation of this. 2 weeks. 2 weeks of upside. And if we want to get real astrology on it, 2 weeks of upside, right? Leading us into what? Into the new moon. So if we do get a good close, or if we even see more price movement in this week, we might see this repeat. 2 weeks of upside into the full moon, new moon. Goddamn, I can never get the full and new correct. Into the new moon, which is, it is what it is. But it also, 2 weeks also brings us to April 8th, which is the solar eclipse. These are all just really interesting coincidences, and I'm going to talk about them until they happen, really. 2 weeks up, and then what might we get? 3 weeks of down? 1, 2, 3. It's an interesting setup. The dates are wild on it. Something to look at. But that was the weekly. That's all we need. Close above 69,000 this week looks great, but something tells me if we do, we're going to see that high broken. We're going to see further expansion. On the day here, and this is where the TA is, and this is where it gets really simple. Here we are. Man, these trend lines are just not the best on the daily time frame. They're distracting. They are valid, but they're distracting. Let me remove them. So here we go. Zoomed into the day. What do we have? Right here, if you remember, this is the weekly line. This is what we need. I'm going to make this white, actually, just so you can see it while I do this. That's the goal to close above. Where has today sold to? Today has sold down to a very important place. From our all-time high, we saw some efficiency that brought us down to our lows. Bullish engulfed on the 20th, hit a higher low, broke through. So what are we looking at here? Potentially an inverse head and shoulders. This is where it gets spicy. Where are we now? We've traded above the neckline. You can call the neckline anywhere in this zone, honestly, but 68.3. We've traded higher, and where do we move today? Right back to that neckline. Let's invert it. There it is. Left shoulder head, right shoulder break. What do we have now? Back test to the neckline. What are we looking for? We're looking for the inverse head and shoulders pattern to continue. Boom. So here's what I'm looking at today. The low may be in for today if we are really seeing a back test of this neckline. However, it is possible that this neckline is really at 67.8, which is not a big move. It's a $1,000 move down, and at this point, a $1,000 move down is like 1.2% or something. If today's lows respect said neckline, I think we get a rally into the end of the week. I think that rally into the end of the week brings us to 73.1 and potentially beyond. Very simple analysis. Let's look at it on a lower time frame quick. There it is. Maybe easier to see here. I always invert them. I don't know if that helps you guys, but there it is. TA can be that simple sometimes. Boom. This is what I'm looking for. So you can tell this low right here does have me on the edge of my seat. I am waiting to see if it breaks lower. I definitely need to have an alert. Done. So I'm looking for this candle today. This is like the fuddy Coinbase KuCoin candle. Look at what it did. It did nothing. People are talking about it as if this is some big scary event. It's done nothing. Just brought us back to the neckline. If we continue to sell off, go lower. Actually, we did hit lower in the last hour. We reevaluate. Where would we look? Well, probably back down here, down at the bottom of the old symmetrical triangle, right? Pretty clear, pretty easy. Not a lot of complexity in the TA today. I'm gonna leave this like this. Let me put this on here and we're gonna go back to the chat. Man, we have been doing it like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and how many questions have I answered? I am bad at this. I'm legit bad at Q&A. But if enough people enjoyed this today, we'll do it again on Wednesday, especially if it's not an exciting Wednesday. There you go. That's what I'm looking for. Done. Refreshing the chat. Can I teach you ASI? We do have YouTube's #1 free trading course on this channel. It's a playlist. Go check it out. Just go to the playlist. Go to the channel, go to the playlist. Hopefully that'll help you. Wall Street closed Friday and Monday for holiday. Is it J-Day? Good time to continue down. You know, people, typically I would have agreed with you, but what we've been seeing with the ETFs is since they're not trading on the weekends, I believe we've had like 2 weekends where this didn't happen. It wasn't this weekend, but the weekend before. And right after the ETF, I think. We have been seeing the opposite. We have been seeing market makers run the price up over the weekends. And then when ETFs open, it forces them to buy at a premium, like big volumes at a premium. I think that is honestly more likely. We'll see. It's kind of a crapshoot. No, sir. I mean, can you teach me O-line? What is O-line? May I ask your opinion on ETH Brett 2 cents? You can. You can. Not my favorite thing. I liked Ethereum more before the merge, but Ethereum was pre-mined. If you guys probably think I hate all your coins, I don't hate all your coins. I just have a narrowly defined thing that I like in crypto, and that's probably because of my OG status, right? I like proof of work blockchains that weren't pre-mined. ETH was pre-mined. It IPO'd or ICO'd. It's not my favorite. Do I own more than, do I own double digits of ETH? Yes. Yes, I have, for sake of vagueness, more than 10 ETH, but I don't love it. I have many positions of coins that I'm not passionate about. It's okay. Kind of setting up my conservative, protected, safe portfolio of Bitcoin. And then I throw out, little fishing lines, throw out little baits, buy little lotto tickets, Anyone can do that. Just the riskier it is, the less you put into it. Never risking more than 1% on anything, remember? Let's see how this is going. Now I'm getting distracted by the charts, maybe I shouldn't do any more Q&A. Maybe I should just nerd out. Nah, I still want to answer some more. I got to get back in the vibe of that. Because that's so much value. There's so much value in Q&A. And when I'm just up here talking for hours, there's value there too, but I do that all the time. There's infinite hours of me talking. You want to be a student, Aussie? I don't know, man. I don't know. Well, if you want to be a student of any kind, here's what you should do. You should join the Discord. Discord.gg/TomCrown. That's what you should do, my friend. I don't think you can click links on that stream, but there you are. That's the best way to even start that endeavor. You made a video on your channel about Ravencoin years ago. Ravencoin, to my knowledge, is proof of work and wasn't pre-mined. I don't know why it didn't do well. I never bought that much. Maybe that's why. Pretty much alone in a tiny group. Like Litecoin, exactly like Litecoin. That's why I like Litecoin. There's literally no other reason. It's just that. You think Satoshi will ever sell the 1 million Bitcoin he has, Chad? No. I understand it being a concern for people, especially in this day and age where the reason for Bitcoin has kind of largely been lost by new people. I get that. But someone who created Bitcoin, whoever they are, the group of people, whatever, I wasn't around in this space then. I wasn't around for years. And I have this ideology. The people who made it, they were driven 100% by the things I talked about earlier, by the ideology, by the opting out of the system. The last thing they would ever do is spend that Bitcoin. I honestly believe with full confidence that those wallets were mined and the keys were burned instantly. And you can say, nah, that's because you're a sucker, Tom. They were going to blah, 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 blah. And dude, these people were out to fight an oppressive system. They weren't out to make money. And I know that gets lost today because everyone here that starts, it's okay. You don't have to be ashamed of it. 99% of you wouldn't just make money. And I get it. I understand that. I don't hate on that or anything. But the people that made Bitcoin, they were not trying to make money. And in fact, they did not know it would ever have value. So to think it's logical, because someone likely made this argument, but to think it's logical that they created this as some super long-term rug doesn't make sense. They never knew it would have value. Satoshi wrote, Bitcoin will either have a massive market cap or it will just fade into irrelevance. I forget, he said some kind of timeline. They had no guarantee this would work. Why would it? Why would it have worked, right? It worked because people believed in it. That's it. Now it's gotten big enough that it's kind of its own beast. What's up, Crow? What's my price target for this move? Which move? The move down here on Bitcoin? I mean, I'm looking for a retest of 73.1. You can zoom back in the DVR if you want a little update. Christoph, did I ever consider mining? Well, I do have my little nerd miner. It must have gotten unplugged. I'm a little nerd miner here, which is pretty cool. It's just hobby. You're not gonna make money with this, but it's a cool little thing. It's like a clock. I have mined in the winters back in the day on my GPU when that was at all relevant. Basically because I had to heat my house anyway. And the waste heat from mining is like the cost. So it's really not any more expensive to heat your house via mining on a computer than it is to use an electric heater or something. It's really the same efficiency. So there's some kind of double dip there. Really just hobbying, just hobby. To do mining at scale, or to do mining competitively, I'll say, you need access to certain things. The first of all, and most important, is abundant, cheap energy. If you can get abundant, cheap energy, you can mine Bitcoin, baby. I don't have that. It's pretty cheap where I am, but it's like it's not super profitable. Then you also need capital to start up. It is unfortunately leaving the fingertips of the average person. It's getting harder and harder, at least to mine Bitcoin. Other things, that's one thing I kind of liked about Ethereum, is that it was being mined on GPUs. Yes, there are other things that are mined on GPUs, like Vertcoin, but it was a big market cap that you could mine. It's kind of leaving though. But again, this is something that Satoshi foresaw. If you look at his writings, he literally said something along the lines of Bitcoin mining will start like in the home, and he sees a future where it's done in data centers. Data centers, mining farms, it's the exact same concept. Like, this was not something that no one saw coming. And the more you learn about the origins and kind of the ideology behind all this, the more you'll see that almost everything that you can come up with was already thought through. Like, Bitcoin was not just thrown, it was not just an idea someone crapped out and put into practice. Like, this was decades, literally decades of thought, of crafting, by not just one person, by groups of people. People think like Satoshi invented Bitcoin. He invented Bitcoin, but they think like that means he wrote all the code, he came up with all the ideas. That's not true. Not true at all. And whoever Satoshi is, they would never make that claim. Bitcoin is a Frankenstein of like 8 other projects that were already in existence, like eCash and I forget all the crappy names. But he stitched them together in a way that worked and that people used and caught on. I'm actually looking some up. The world has been dreaming of Bitcoin for a long time. Ready? The world has been dreaming of Bitcoin for a long time. The world didn't know it would be Bitcoin or that it would be a blockchain or that would be any of those things. But I'll prove to you right now that the world has dreamt of Bitcoin for years, more than years, for decades before it existed. Why can't I get this stupid image? Oh my God, I just want the one image. Just let me open the image. Why is it so hard? Why is it so difficult? All right, this person put their logo over it for some reason. Dickler. There you go. 1988. 35 years ago. 35 years ago. This isn't even the oldest one. The next one's going to blow your mind. If you've never seen this, the next one's going to blow your mind. This is just a warm-up. The Economist 1988. Get ready for a world currency. I thought this said for a new world currency. I'm starting to think maybe this isn't the image. This guy threw a thing on it. This phoenix is the image. Guess what the phoenix has around his neck? A coin. It is a coin. It says 2008 or 2018, which is interesting because that's arguably when Bitcoin became like mainstream or started to become mainstream. It is a phoenix sitting on top of a pile of burning fiat. This is not the original image. What is this? Is this some like reimagined version of it? I know it's not the original image because these bills aren't right. What the hell? Economist 1988. You can look it up. Like, this is not like a secret. It was in 1988 by The Economist. Maybe it does say world currency. It's surprisingly difficult to find a clean image of it now, which is odd. It's like the internet's muddied it up. Anyway, That was the first one. If that doesn't blow your mind, 35 years. This one's going to make you shit your pants. Ready? Ready? This one comes from 100 years ago. 100 years ago. I'm telling you, the world has been dreaming of Bitcoin for over 100 years. This quote is by ex-president or president, I guess, Henry Ford in 1921, over 100 years ago. Ford would replace gold with an energy currency and stop wars. Stop wars. This is a huge argument of the cypherpunks, a huge argument of the Bitcoin movement, is that Bitcoin decentivizes war because it cannot be seized like gold, like land, like assets, like things that existed before it. It is seizure resistant, if not seizure proof under the best circumstances. Henry Ford said he's going to replace gold with energy currency. Remember, 1921. Different words and stuff used. And stop wars. I think actually even in the article, it outlines even kind of crazier stuff. Let me see. Yeah, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to research it live, but crazy, dude. 100 years ago. This was not made up yesterday. I didn't mean to rant that long, but sometimes it just happens. What's up, Rick? Subscribing. Amit, Nasmus, Kim, Ryan, Randall, Dave FX. Tuning in for the rants. Hell yeah, fam. Hells to the yeah. President Ford. Whatever, not president. The guy, Henry Ford. The maker of, what is it, Ford. Not president. The like DJT ticker. Got the word president in my head earlier. Aliens. Nice bird. It's a phoenix representing death and rebirth and immortality. Weirdly, just like Bitcoin. You heard Michael Saylor's changed his name to Satoshi. Weird move, but I like that rumor. Praise the cypherpunks. Yes. Paul Wood. People just like, I know people are tuning in and not getting this, but like these people were just pure ideology. They were selfless. They wanted the world to be better because the world they lived in sucked and they could see why. It's the fiat system, man. It's been used to oppress us since the minute it was created. These people wanted a better world. They didn't want billions of dollars. They didn't want to rug the world or something. Little history lesson. Little love. You're saying you really believe in the idea of it all. 100%, dude. This is what I like kind of started earlier in the episode in, is why Bitcoin, this has been lost. It's just not talked about anymore. It's not what people want to hear about. But it's something that you should be aware of. I am not alone. I'm not the only one that thinks this way. The people that think this way kind of behave more like grandmas in a sense. Bitcoiners and grandmas have a lot in common. They have very practical advice. I tweeted last night, Tom Crown Crypto is my Twitter, follow me. But I tweeted last night, it's save money, go for walks, eat healthy food, and don't trust the banks. Focus on your community. Do good things, right? Like, it's very grandma behavior. It's very grandma thought. But I'm not the only one. There are many of us out there. They just don't tend to be the loudest voices anymore. It's not really what people want to hear anymore, unfortunately. But there are more of us. There are so many people that truly believe. And guess what they've done? Just what I've done. They've stacked Bitcoin. We're all in a race to stack the most Bitcoin. It's behind the scenes. But guess what else those people have? A lot of wealth. Bitcoin has changed my life. I was poor as shit. Poor as shit growing up. Poor as shit, in debt. My net worth was negative until Bitcoin. Over time, that changed. But we're talking people who believed in this in like 2010, 2011, 2012, stacking Bitcoin. They got the money. They got the wealth. They got the power. We out here. BTC pump, let's go. Not yet. Nothing really happening. Electricity. You wish you were stacking back then? Me too, man. You know what they say? The best time to buy Bitcoin was yesterday. Second best time is today. Mandela effect. What's the Mandela effect? I know what the Mandela effect is, but in response to what? Nothing that I showed you didn't happen. Pokemon. What's up, man? What's up, 𝐒𝐈𝐆𝐍? What's up, dude? Tommy boy. What's up, Christophe, Novocaine, Lee, 𝐕𝐼𝐼𝐼𝐼, the Lite killer, coin killer. Yeah, isn't that a funny story, man? Like, you hear this coin's this, that killer, right? Like, Neo's the Ethereum killer. I don't know. None of them have ever done that. Any rhetoric you hear about this coin being a killer of that coin's full of crap. This is gibberish. It's never happened. You know what kills coins? Fake communities. Fake, just like fakeness. Not real people not believing in it. Belief is such an important value in crypto. It's wild. This is Donald Trump's IPO. I think this is the chart. It used to be DWAC. Now it's DJT. But this chart looks different than what we... No, actually it's the same. Let's see. This is where it started trading. I'm going to follow this chart just because I'm curious. There it is. It's actually not the worst IPO. Like, there have been definitely worse IPOs, but you know what? Not enough time has passed. We'll see. Look at Coinbase's IPO. This is what I'm talking about. I said this earlier about this wasn't related to like the Trump's IPO specifically, just IPOs. Look at Coinbase's IPO, dude. It started trading at 383. From there, it fell in its first day, in its second day. It continued falling. It did not set any kind of higher high at all until May 12th. When did it start trading? April. For a month. It only went down. Lower lows, lower highs. Set like a dead cat bounce. It hit minus 45% on May 19th. 45% in 35 days. This is what I expect of like every IPO. Just people had shares. They invested pre-IPO, or they had shares from like working there or whatever. And once it IPOs, it just opens you up to liquidity. And so what do? They take profit. They haven't really been able to take profit. They didn't have the liquidity before. Now they do. Coinbase now is being a monster. Is being an absolute monster right now. Almost 1,000 days later. But that wasn't before, dropping 91%. I just don't get why people invest in IPOs. I've never seen an IPO that did well. I'm sure there are, but I've just never pulled up a chart of one. It's wild. You have an opinion on Sol? Do I have an opinion on Sol? Don't have great vibes with Sol. Don't have great vibes. Being attached to Sam Bankman and FTX and stuff is just not a great vibe, man. Do I think it'll go up more? I do. I'm now kind of skeptical if it's going to break its all-time high this cycle. We've seen a lot of coins set really big all-time highs, and then in the next cycle just not, right? XRP, Litecoin. Almost every coin from 2017. On low time frame, Sol looks fine. I would be surprised not to see Sol retest its all-time high, 267. You could see it as low as like 125 before then. Maybe 150. Probably good spots to look for a bounce. I just don't like how much inflation there is with Sol. Sol has been at an all-time high in market cap. Or maybe it's right underneath it. Now it's at the all-time high in market cap. But it's not at the all-time high in price because a lot of Solana has been printed since 2021, like 30% or something. Solana has a realistic chance of flipping Ethereum, though. Doesn't necessarily mean it will be number 2 market cap. It could. It does have a possibility. It has a long way to go. But if you chart Sol's market cap against Ethereum's market cap, it did also hit a new all-time high in that pair. And this is maybe where some of that Bitcoin pair stuff we talked about comes into use, even if you're not trading them. Looking at any kind of pair is valid and does give you information. Broke its all-time high against Ethereum actually back in December of last year. It has set a higher high against that, and that's why I think you get it like 0.5. You might see SOL at half of Ethereum's market cap. To flip it is maybe too much. Maybe that is too much to ask. Maybe not. 400%. That would mean SOL would have to 3x, 4x, 5x. It's at 0.2 to go to 1. These are 5x. With Ethereum not moving, with Ethereum not gaining any market cap. Really, the only way I see that happening actually would be if like Ethereum market cap just ate crap and sold in, maybe it pumped a little. But moving to like half of Ethereum's market cap, very reasonable. You broke a high, and when we break a high, what do? We use our fib tool. Our 1618 sits at 0.5. Our measure move at the flippening, the SOL F flippening. Here's my thoughts. It's not my favorite. It's not proof of work. It certainly was very, very pre-mined, very ICO'd, IPO'd, whatever. SOL's going to do great. Don't doubt it. I definitely doubted SOL at the bottom with the whole FTX thing. I doubted it, but I was wrong. I was blown away that it managed to bounce that hard. Good for it. Good for you guys for having it. I have some SOL. I don't have to love something to own some of it. I have to love something to invest heavily in it, though. BCH, yeah, dude. I think BCH is going to like 750. 750 or 1,000. Surprised it hasn't done it yet. Let me go up here. If you ever get a shot at $300 BCH, might be a good entry. You're right here at like 550. I mean, really, this, even to 1,000 isn't that big of a deal. It's really not even that big of a deal. You do have some resistance here. Really, every kind of $100 up. Yeah, like 600, 650, 750, whatever. But this looks very good, man. That is a great that's a great setup. Will it break its all-time high, though? I don't know, dude. That is a big move. That's not even technically the highest it traded. It is, but it isn't. The first day on Coinbase, it traded to like 4K or something silly. But that was kind of a product of Coinbase's sloppy execution of it. BCH broke its weekly high. Use your fib tool. Fib tool, or look to macro horizontals. 685, 800, right in this range. This is where I think BCH is going. If it can just hold on to 497, it's going right up here. Bitcoin's not moving. What's my thought on XRP? Kind of the same as SOL. Really the same thing. I have some XRP. It's not a big position. It was pre-mined. It's not proof of work. Doesn't really fit what I like in crypto, and that's okay. XRP chart has been a giant flag for years. Ooh, more subscribers. I haven't been looking at the screen. What's up, 𝐂𝐫𝐆𝐍, Marsh, RK World, Associate Market, 𝐂𝐻𝐿TIMATE, TW Spooky, Armindo Castro, LOL, Kim Sokwon, Nasmus Sakib, Rick Van Buren. Got a lot of new subscribers. Keep smashing those buttons, guys. If you're new to the channel, this is a little bit different content than we usually do. We're usually much more trading, live, analysis, live focus, but today was kind of a lazy day in the crypto world. Not a lot of price action. And I figured it was time to get back to our roots a little bit. I just wanted to field some questions that I could. Do a little ranting. Got some good ones in already. Got some good rants already. I missed some super chats. I apologize. Mika Hall. Thanks, Tom. As Jeb would say, get wisdom. BTC. Love Crypto Jeb. Great dude. Shout out to him. Thank you, Mika. Brett 2 cents. What do I think of this bull market's momentum too early? Or we can continue like other super cycles. I couldn't name you a super cycle of anything, to be honest. So I don't have a lot to like reference. We broke an all-time high before having. We've never seen that before. If there's ever been an argument that this cycle might be more bullish than the diminishing returns we've seen, I think we have all the elements. Of course, it doesn't guarantee anything, but I think it's a good thing. I got Space Apes back in the beginning, 11.7. I missed Ultra Chaos Steve. I love Steve. I'm sorry, brother. Tom, that speech at the start of Bitcoin made a tear in your eye. The space has become so diluted, it's nice to hear it when it's stripped back to what's important. Love you, brother. You're a great dude. Top tier dude. Ultra Chaos Steve, top tier dude. 𝐂𝐫𝐚𝐫𝐿. Oh, by the way, in the Discord, join the Discord, discord.gg/TomCrown. But a lot of us kind of more OG mindset people are in there. Of course, there are like almost, we're reaching 10,000 Discord members. There's people of all thoughts, degens and such. But if you see the way, if you see the light, recommend you jump in there. 𝐂𝐫𝐚𝐫𝐿. Monero is underrated. I agree. I bought Monero. If you guys were here, a lot of you were here. Of course, I bought Monero over the years, but let's see. Let's check in. I will admit Monero has not gone quite as high as quickly as I thought it would, but I bought Monero at like 100 in this year. I saw the Binance delisting, I saw the dump, and I get market ordered. Let's go. I guess that's only up like 36%, as high as 50-ish since February. Not bad. But Monero fits perfectly into the what I like about crypto realm. It's proof of work. It's not pre-mined. Privacy is like, I think something that's like keeping it down now, but I don't think it will forever. It did break its all-time high, I guess, in 21, just barely. Has not set new lows. In fact, it didn't even break its low from June of 22 on that sell-off. I think Monero will have its day. I don't know when, but I think it'll have its day. Pest killers. Do I think Link is a sleeper? Well, Link seems to have times where it is a sleeper and then isn't a sleeper. It has times of like really big, really big FOMO, big hype. And then it goes sideways. And people seem to forget about it. It's odd. I don't forget about it. In fact, look at our latest, our trade back earlier in March from 17 bucks. Looks like it filled. Stop not hit, targeting 30 bucks. I still think it's going there. If this is your first cycle, you're probably slowly or quickly noticing there's like a rotation. You'll see it. Everyone will talk about Link. Everyone will talk about Sol. And then it will just stop moving for a while. And that always tends to happen right at kind of like that peak hype, that peak attention. It cools off. And what happens is people bought in, it goes down, it cools off. They sell for something else that's pumped. And they get caught in this chop of buying higher, buying into these green candles, buying into these FOMOs, and then inevitably selling it at a big loss or a little loss right before it moves again. Chasing FOMO is a terrible way to invest in this space. It will not get you anywhere. Thoughts on Buildle? ICP a buy. ICP honestly has looked good. Buildle, I don't know what that is on base. ICP hit our $20 target. Let's go. That took forever, dude. Wow. That took forever. Holy crap. We were calling for 20 bucks back here in December of last year, like 10. That took a while. If ICP can trade higher than 20 bucks, 21, where did it just hit? 21. If it can trade higher than 21, preferably if it can close March above 21, it's going to 41 quick. If it closes below 21, it might spend the next month retracing back down to like 13.
And also base? Is ICP still
I actually wanted to look at this. That's why I pulled it up.
ICP versus BTC?
I don't know if I pull up the Bitcoin pair. That's yikes. That's kind of yikes. It is close to monthly resistance, and a break of that, close above 0031. Set you up for a pretty good gain. You do have kind of a close resistance as well, though. 00385. On top of that, though, once you get past here, so I'm going to set an alert for ICP. If ICP trades against Bitcoin above 000385, it might see a 3x of market cap, or it might see a 3x against Bitcoin. Let's see if that could happen. If ICP doesn't sell off and Bitcoin does, or something, or ICP rallies more, that might be in alignment with like being up here at $60. Could be interesting. Anyway, I accidentally just closed my trading view. Saving changes. Whoops. Anyway, what you should do is you should go to the video description on the main stream. If you're on the short stream, allow me to give you a helping hand here. I'm going to send you over here. There you go. Sending you on over. On the main stream, in the video description, we have a list of our partners. Sign up with any of them. Then join the Discord, discord.gg/TomCrown. Join it anyway, it's free. But if you sign up with one of our partners, you'll get free exclusive VIP access to our trading rooms, our Tom Crown whale rooms. It's worth it. Costs you nothing. Zen is the least centralized, even the owner minted. The least centralized. I don't actually know how centralized or not Zen is, but certainly there is nothing more decentralized than Bitcoin, unfortunately, for any argument. But sign up with the partners in our video description. Check out our free, the #1 best trading course on YouTube. It's free. Check it out after the live. Jump in the Discord, join the VIP for free. We're going to be live Friday with 𝐿𝐴𝐻. I don't know where he's speaking. Someone join the Discord and tell me where he's speaking because I couldn't figure it out. But that's all. Hopefully you guys like this kind of Q&A type stream. It was chill. It definitely got sidetracked more than I'd like, but I think we did some good stuff, fam. On your way out, make sure you smash that bell, hit the subscribe, like, and I'll catch you guys Friday. If you join the Discord, I'll be chatting in there today, and I'll catch you then. Peace, fam.